When most modern-day farmers sit down to think about how to boost the yield of their fruit crops, their minds often turn to the usual suspects: pesticides, synthetic fertilizers, and high-tech farming tools. It's the go-to route for many, tried and tested in the laboratories and fields of commercial agriculture, but out in the quiet corners of the countryside where the horse still pulls the plow and the air smells like tilled earth and wood smoke, the Amish tend their land with a different kind of wisdom, and somehow, without chemicals, without machines, without any trace of modern intervention, they manage to increase their fruit yields by as much as 70%. It's a number that startles most folks, and rightly so. So how in the world do they do it? Well, friend, pour yourself a cup of coffee and sit a spell, because what we're about to share isn't just a lesson in farming, it's a lesson in patience, tradition, and living in rhythm with the land. The Amish, well known for their simple dress and quiet lives, are often admired for their baking, their woodworking, their ability to live without modern distractions. But few realize just how ingenious their farming methods really are. You might expect that without tractors, without lab-made fertilizers or chemical sprays, their yields would suffer. But the truth is just the opposite. The reason? They've never let go of the old ways, the ways that have worked for generations. While the rest of the world has rushed toward efficiency and speed, the Amish have held fast to time-tested techniques, refined by observation and passed down like family heirlooms. Back in the 1970s, nearly every Amish family in America made their living from the land. About 90% of them, in fact. Today, that number's dropped to just over 10%. But those who still farm carry with them the knowledge of those who came before. Wisdom that doesn't age, only deepens. And one of the first things they'll tell you is that chemicals, no matter how effective they seem, take more than they give. Pesticides may keep pests away, yes, but they also coat the crops with toxins, strip the soil of its richness, and weaken the very life beneath the surface. For the Amish, that's simply too high a price to pay. They believe nature was created to be whole, not tampered with. And just like they once refused to pick up arms in times of war, choosing jail over violence, they refuse to fight nature with chemicals. Instead, they work with it, believing firmly that what nature provides, nature can also protect. Take composting, for example. It's a cornerstone of Amish farming, a quiet, humble process that turns what most people throw away into black gold for the garden. Kitchen scraps, chicken manure, leftover crops, and even autumn leaves. They're all gathered and layered carefully into piles that steam gently through the seasons. With the help of worms, fungi, and thyme, those piles turn into rich, crumbly compost that smells like the forest floor and feeds the soil like nothing else can. Amish farmers are exacting in how they make their compost. They layer green materials like manure and vegetable scraps with brown ones like straw and wood shavings. They tuck the piles into shaded corners of the farm, away from rain and wind, and they turn them regularly, not with a machine, but with a pitchfork and a good bit of elbow grease. It's not quick work, but the result is a living soil, teeming with microbes, ready to nourish whatever they choose to plant next. And when they do plant, they don't just scatter seeds and hope for the best. No, they've mastered the art of pairing plants, what's known as companion planting. It's an old practice rooted in observation: marigolds with tomatoes, basil with peppers, beans with corn, each plant offering something to the other, whether it's pest protection, improved flavor, or a bit of shared shade. A marigold might repel nematodes. A basil plant might keep whiteflies at bay. And legumes like peas and beans, they fix nitrogen in the soil, feeding their neighbors without asking for anything in return. The Amish know their plants like old friends. They consider how deep the roots grow, how much light each one needs, and how they might help each other along. It's farming with intention, not just routine. And it's not only about boosting yields, it's about creating balance in the garden, the kind that lasts year after year. Now, companion planting goes hand in hand with another one of their secrets, crop rotation. The Amish never plant the same crop in the same spot season after season. They rotate diligently. Corn one year, legumes the next, maybe oats or wheat after that. It's a dance of nutrients and needs. Heavy feeders like corn draw nitrogen from the soil, so the next season, legumes come in to restore what was lost. In the off-season, cover crops like clover or rye are sown to hold the soil in place, prevent erosion, and feed it with organic matter. Livestock play a role here too. Their manure is gathered not just as waste, but as treasure, returned to the earth to keep the cycle turning. Sometimes cows or horses graze a field that will be planted the following year, naturally fertilizing it with each step they take. It's all part of a bigger picture, a cycle that respects time, biology, and the quiet workings of the land. And when pests do come, and they always do, the Amish don't panic. Instead, they rely on another trick, trap planting. This method involves planting a crop specifically to attract pests away from the main harvest. Think of it as a decoy, a plant the pests find irresistible, planted along the edges of the field to draw them in. Nasturtiums for aphids, mustard for flea beetles, marigolds for all manner of insects. It's a patient kind of defense, one that doesn't fight with poison, but with distraction. And what happens when the growing season stretches long? When one crop finishes and there's still time left in the season? That's where succession planting comes in. The Amish stagger their plantings so that not everything ripens at once. They might sow sweet corn one week, then again the next, and then again a week after that. Or after harvesting spinach in early spring, they'll use that space for beans or cucumbers. It's a method that keeps the harvest going all season long, spreads out the workload, and ensures that no piece of land sits idle. It also means fewer gluts and more variety on the table, which makes for a healthier diet and a stronger connection to the rhythms of the year. And then there's intercropping, the practice of planting multiple crops together in the same space. It's the opposite of a monoculture. Picture corn growing tall, beans winding up their stalks, and squash spreading its broad leaves across the ground. Each plant does its part, one giving shade, one fixing nitrogen, one keeping weeds down. It's called the Three Sisters method, and it's as old as North American agriculture itself. The Amish use it not just because it's traditional, but because it works. It builds soil, deters pests, and makes the most of every square foot of earth. And unlike rows of a single crop, it mimics the diversity of wild landscapes, which helps confuse insects and reduce disease. All these practices, composting, crop rotation, companion planting, trap cropping, succession planting, intercropping, they don't just help the Amish grow more fruit. They help them grow better fruit. Fruit that's full of flavor, free from chemicals, and ripened slowly under the sun. Fruit that nourishes not only the body, but the spirit. And behind it all is a way of life rooted in simplicity and humility. The Amish don't drive tractors or operate harvesters. They work with horses, guiding plows through the soil at a pace that allows them to notice the little things. A bird's nest in the hedgerow, a change in the texture of the earth. They use hand tools, crafted carefully, sometimes passed down through generations. Their equipment is quiet, their movements deliberate, and they don't farm alone. Community is the heartbeat of Amish life. Neighbors help one another plant, harvest, build, repair. It's not just about getting the job done, it's about doing it together and doing it well. And maybe that's the real secret to their success. Not just the methods, but the mindset. A way of farming that treats the land not as a commodity, but as a partner. A way of life that puts care above convenience and harmony above haste. So the next time someone tells you the only way to grow more is to spray more, or that technology is the only path to progress, think of the Amish. Think of their 70% increase in fruit yield. And think about what might be possible when you choose to slow down, listen to the land, and farm not just with your hands, but with your heart. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of Amish farming, go ahead and give this video a like. Drop a comment to let us know your thoughts. And subscribe for more slow wisdom from the countryside. We'd love to hear what topics you'd like us to explore next. Until then, stay curious, live gently, and keep growing.